the Shenandoah Valley. This is WHSV TV3 News at 11.
Now at 11, a new bill proposed in the General Assembly looking at a study for Interstate 81 and a possible toll. Plus, day 2 of the government shutdown. Senator Tim Kaine calling for action as the House and Senate are back in session. Today, Republicans and Democrats attempted to move past an impasse with no luck. Good evening and thanks for staying up with us. I'm Marina Barnett. Jared Klein has the night off. We begin tonight with the latest on the government shutdown. ABC's Zachary Quiche reports.
Both Democrats and Republicans in the Senate pointing fingers.
This is pure folly.
Americans know why the dysfunction is occurring. A dysfunctional president.
A resolution to the current government shutdown in many ways hinges on the country's foundation, immigration.
The Democrats are saying that they will not vote to reopen the government until they have an agreement on immigration. And Republicans are saying they won't even negotiate on immigration until the government is reopened.
But beyond all the tough talk, there are whispers that Democratic leader Senator Chuck Schumer and the president are inching towards a deal. That agreement would include legal status for some 800,000 so-called dreamers, undocumented immigrants who came into this country as children and who face deportation by March unless Congress acts.
We're going to build the wall.
In exchange, the president would get full funding for his border wall, one of his campaign promises, at a price tag of $20 billion over 7 years. The president was critical of President Obama's leadership in 2013. The last time we had a government shutdown.
You have to get everybody in a room. You have to be a leader. The president has to lead.
But today, just tweeting in part, the Dems just want illegal immigrants to pour into our nation unchecked. The White House says the president is talking, but only with Republicans. Zachary Quiche, ABC News, New York.
My surmise is that they're okay with the shutdown. I'm only aware of 2 people who think shutdown is good. In Virginia, we don't think it's good. Our military doesn't think it's good.
Senator Tim Kaine speaking on the floor of the Senate this afternoon, calling for action in this government shutdown, wanting to pass a 3-day continuing resolution to reopen government. However, Republicans blocked his effort and the shutdown continues. Senator Mitch McConnell pushed the vote to noon tomorrow. And we'll keep you up to date on the latest with the government shutdown right here on WHSV News and over on WHSVnews.com, as well as the WHSV News app. You can also give us your feedback on our Facebook and Twitter pages. All right, it is time now to check in with the First Alert Weather Center and meteorologist Mackenzie Lee. So, Mackenzie, how's it looking out there?
Well, really nothing to speak of right now, at least on radar. If you take a look, nothing here close to home. So take a look here, really just a couple showers up to our north. But when we take a zoomed out look, take a look over into parts of Texas, parts of Louisiana, Oklahoma, and Missouri there. Take a zoomed in look. There are some storms and actually a couple reported tornadoes in Texas, as well as I believe in Arkansas there. So we do have a tornado warning that occurs there until midnight tonight. Luckily here closer to home, we are not dealing with any severe weather. We actually have a mild start to the week this week, a few chances for showers in the forecast, and some very strong wind gusts on Tuesday. I'll have more on that coming up.
Around the Valley, Virginia organizing and local churches discussing the sanctuary movement for illegal immigrants today. The groups held a forum and listened to a woman who is in a sanctuary in Ohio. The group listened to Edith's story thanks to a web stream. Leaders of the churches say they want to listen to the perspective of those who are struggling with immigration issues. A pastor at Shalom Mennonite congregation in Harrisonburg says churches should listen to a sense of call from a faith perspective.
To meet the stranger, to welcome the stranger, to help address fears in the community. And there are many different ways that churches have been doing that.
Bolton says because Harrisonburg is home to people from across the world, he thinks it's important to listen to people with different perspectives than his own. And local African-American baseball players from as early as the 1970s were celebrated today in Orange. The county's African-American Historical Society had Charlottesville author Darrell J. Howard speak about his book, Sunday Coming Black Baseball in Virginia. The book takes a look into the history of local black baseball players from the 1930s to the 1980s. Organizers say it's about preserving an important part of history.
The purpose of the organization is to make sure
sure that we do not lose the wonderful African American history that's here in Orange County. And so we like to preserve that and share it whenever we can.
A couple of the baseball players mentioned in the book were at the event and shared stories about being young boys excited to play baseball. Chaos in the streets in San Francisco tonight. A driver of a minivan making his way onto a sidewalk with dozens of pedestrians trying to get out of the way. The van didn't stop for nearly half a mile. Surveillance video capturing the terrifying moment as people took cover. Witnesses chasing down the minivan, trying to stop the driver. San Francisco police are saying it was a 70-year-old Kenneth Rotter behind the wheel. He drove through a few intersections, hitting parking meters and sidewalk trees.
It was so quick. It was just a flash of an eye.
Eventually, Rotter was stopped and arrested. Other than property damage, no one was hurt during the chaos. Police say they don't think it was intentional, and the driver is saying he had issues with his brakes. Police say that he may be charged with attempted murder and driving under the influence. Still to come on the news at 11, a proposed bill to make traveling on Interstate 81 better, a study, and the possible tolls to come with it. Plus, another bill in the General Assembly coming out of Charlottesville after the deadly rally on August 12th. Why House Assembly that would study how to fund improvements to Interstate 81. WHSV's Johnny Oliver joins us now. So, Johnny, can you tell us how this bill would study I-81?
Marina, the bill would make the Commonwealth Transportation Board study the possibility of using truck tolls to fund improvements to I-81. Senator Mark Obershane is proposing the bill. According to the senator's office, the bill would identify improvements for specific sections of I-81 and develop tolls that would try to not disturb local traffic. One woman who drives on 81 every day for work says she would like to see improvements to the interstate, but she says improvements should be funded by everyone using 81.
And some days it can be frustrating, the traffic and getting backed up, especially when you're trying to pass. I'm not sure if making the truckers pay for it is the right way to go.
Dan says she thinks that adding another lane could be helpful, especially around Harrisonburg. Another senator says that improving 81 has been overlooked for too long. In the studio, Johnny Oliver, WHSV.
All right, thank you, Johnny. And continuing with the General Assembly, Senator Cree Deeds introduced a bill that would ban certain types of weapons from events, but it died in committee along with several others. This bill suggested in light of the deadly white supremacist rally on August 12th. House Minority Leader David Toscano has introduced similar legislation, including a bill on war monuments. He says his bills are written differently, and his Republican colleagues may find them more reasonable.
People have to wonder and they have to consider whether these are reasonable prohibitions. And I think that the way we've written them is that, they are reasonable in the sense the localities make some decisions.
His bills may face some challenges since the House of Delegates is split almost evenly with a narrow 51 to 49 Republican majority. Any bill passed in the House will still need to cross over to the Senate for a vote. Well, it looks like this year's flu season keeps getting worse. The Center for Disease Control reports the influenza is widespread in every state except for Hawaii. So far, almost 75,000 cases have been reported, and that isn't including those who treat their symptoms at home without medical care. The CDC reporting it has killed 30 children so far this season. Adult deaths aren't tracked, but they are estimated to be higher than usual. Experts saying one of the reasons the disease is so dangerous is because of the number of Americans who also suffer from conditions like diabetes and hypertension.
Our next cold front is on the way, and you can expect some rain here in the valley coming up tomorrow night. I'll tell you when you can expect showers and some wind coming up later in the newscast.
Right. Those winds sound pretty intense, though, so something to look out for on Tuesday.
Yeah, after the front passes, it will be a pretty gusty day, but nothing too major. Of course, the rain will be done. Really just looking out for any power outages and some falling tree branches.
Okay, great. Well, tonight is the Screen Actors Guild Awards in Los Angeles, and they're highlighting their support for the Me Too movement with having the first ever host of the award show, Kristen Bell, and each SAG award will be presented by a woman. Talk about girl power. And just by chance, plans. With Jared off tonight, we have all girls here at the desk.
You say just by chance, but we planned this.
No, we didn't plan this. But it worked out pretty cool.
Get out of here.
We kicked Jared out.
We did. We miss him.
Yes.
No, I'm just kidding. We do, but we love having Marina here.
Yeah, so I'm glad to be here.
Yes.
It's been a good weekend.
Yes,
so.
You're doing awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, well, we're just going to continue, might as well, with talking about women. Continue right into sports.
Okay.
How do you watch Super Bowl 52?
I will be. I mean, you know, I don't follow sports a whole lot.
But you have a little bit of connection to the Eagles.
I do. I'm from Pennsylvania. And so usually I just say I watch the Super Bowl for the snacks, but I'll be watching it for the Eagles this year.
I like the sound of that. I also like snacks.
Yes. When we come back, we'll have your last weather with meteorologist Mackenzie Lee. Today's National Hugging Day. Of course, everyone can use a hug. A pastor in Michigan came up with this day in 1986. It's supposed to be a way to facilitate safe, positive interaction with family and friends. And did you know there are health benefits to hugging too? It can help lower your blood pressure, heart rate, and reduce stress. So find someone to hug today.
Oh, right. I have two people I can hug.
Yes.
Right here.
How perfect.
Well, I guess I might as well give you. I said it, so I'm just going to do it to show that I like you.
Thank you.
We'll do a group hug after the show.
Don't worry.
All the guys are jealous.
Yes.
This is what we do when women take over the show. We hug.
I should do this every night.
All right, let's do it. So what can we expect for the weather tonight?
A very mild day tomorrow. Very similar to today. All of us getting to be around 62 degrees, 64 in Petersburg. So a very pleasant day tomorrow. And then on your Blue Mountain Plumbing and Heating 7-day forecast, we do have the rain in the forecast and then more seasonable temperatures.
All right, well, thank you so much. We'll end with a group hug. And make sure to join into Daybreak tomorrow starting at 5 a.m. Have a great